Greetings, guys. It's Brian over NuTech Cleaning Systems, and we're here to do number 8 of our Building Your Business series that we've been talking about. Right out of the gate, I want to tell you guys, go back, watch 1, 2, 3, and so on, because this series really does build on business basics. And even for you veteran cleaners, restorers, or whatever your small business, service business is sometimes going back to the basics is something that's greatly needed. So this isn't just for beginners. This is also to bring everyone back to the basics so that they can really drive their business forward and do well. So in the last series, we've talked about planning and setting goals and marketing and sales. And as we got into staffing and management, we got into this place of employees. When I'm on the forums, one of the things I notice on all the forums, they're all the same. The biggest problem that I see repetitive with different businesses is being able to find good people to do the work. In today's world, you always hear it's very hard to find someone with a good work ethic or a good morals or good standards. I think the biggest thing is probably work ethic these days with the younger people. They want to work from the neck up instead of the neck down. So if you're in a physical business like plumbing, electrical, restoration, carpet cleaning, any of those things, it may be a little harder to find someone with a strong work ethic, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. People ask me all the time, Brian, you've had the same employees for like 15 plus years. How do you do it? And there's a lot of steps that we do to create employee retention. We're going to talk about that, but in order to get employee retention, you first have to have the good employee to keep. So let's talk about what my thought processes have always been and why I've been so successful on getting good people to want to be here, to stay in our family, so to speak. So the 3 things that I teach, preach, coach a lot are these 3 things. Culture, which is your company's culture, your company's core values, and attitude, okay? So let's talk about these 3 things real briefly. Company culture. Company culture is, it's a feeling and a standard that's kind of set forth by the leadership. The leadership could be the owner. The leadership could be the project manager. The leadership could be the general manager. It could be a trickle down of all 3 of those types of people. Culture is a complete umbrella that says, what is our attitude? What do we believe in as a company and as a group of people? Do we believe in treating people fairly? Do we believe in a team that there's great customers, there's average customers, and then there's special needs customers that need the extra rub on the back or whatever that case is? Or do we have a different kind of culture that says, we're only going to take the best customers, screw all the rest of them, we don't care about them? There's different sales models. Whatever your sales model is, it is. But your culture is very, very important, because if your employees do not believe in the umbrella and the culture that you're building, what you're building doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in construction or a plumber, electrician, or any other service business. It is so important to have a positive company culture, a set of beliefs that whoever you're going to hire is going to have similar beliefs to you. I can hire the best people in the world, but if their culture is going to be different, if their core values is going to be different, and their attitude is going to be different than what fits under our culture and our value, our core values, it will not work. You'll have a great person that's absolutely worthless. It was a bad decision, not only for the employee who decided to come work for you, but for you. You wasted all your money in training, talking to that person, trying to make them better at what they do. You totally wasted your investment. An employee is an investment. They're investing their lives into your company because they want to grow their life. You're investing in them because you want them to help you grow your business so you can grow as well. It's a give and a take. It's a two-way street. The biggest problem with most employers is they get the wrong attitude that I pay you, you're my employee, you do what I say, and I don't really care if you're happy or not. You work for me. This is what you do. Now listen, that might work for certain individuals, but it goes back to employee retention. If you actually expect that employee to want to stay and be loyal and work for your company, work for you, work for your other managers, you're dreaming. It's just not going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean we have to coddle and this and that. No, 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 no. You can earn respect by setting goals for that employee, which we're going to get into later, giving them the space. You hired them to do something. We're going to talk about micromanaging in another video, but we hired them to do something. So if you're going to hire Sue and then hang over Sue's shoulder and make her do whatever you want, she's not going to stay because you gave her nowhere to grow. You thought you did. You're, as a manager or as an owner, you're living in a hypothetical dream world, okay? And again, it all goes back to the same question. Brian, how do you get all these people to stay in your company for a long time? If you look at our industry, which is the cleaning and restoration industry, I see some of the most talented, fantastic people jumping from ship to ship to ship to ship. And it doesn't mean the companies that they used to work for were bad or the companies they're going to are bad or any better. It means that that employee was not satisfied where they were. And it could have come right from the very beginning, that's from when they were hired. So one of the last employees that we hired, and I'm not going to get into names and things like this, it was an interesting, I want to run you through the scenario so you can understand. Everybody wants to hire someone with tons of experience, tons and tons of experience, because they don't want to make the investment into the employee, okay? They think it's the quick route. It's the easier route, they think, okay? The problem is, it is the hardest, most burdensome route you'll ever take in your life. In fact, we're even starting to see a few of the smartest companies saying, you know what? I don't necessarily want people with tons of experience because all I'm really doing is recruiting this one, and this one's bad habits. And the problems they had from the other companies, I'm just sucking them into my company. Why would I want that? So those smarter guys, my hat's off to you because I think it's a brilliant plan. It's actually one that we've had for over 20 years. It's not to say that I wouldn't hire somebody with experience, but I actually like to train them under our culture, under our core values, which are in writing. We'll talk about that in another video. And attitude. I can train a person, but I cannot fix their attitude. You can coach and train till you're purple. If your employee has a bad attitude, that's it. Your investment is dead. Time to cut loose and let it go, okay? Attitude, I can train people, but I can't fix an attitude. Core values in writing. We will get to that in another video. Everything has to come together as one cohesive thing. All three of these, and I actually had Carrie write these up here on the board for me, because these three, you cannot live with one without the other if you truly want to be successful. You need all three of these to do any of this other stuff. You just have to, okay? So, within that, when I want to go through a scenario of hiring an employee. Now, I'm not going to get into the legalities because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to get all technical and this kind of stuff because as an employer, as an owner of multiple companies, I don't hire technically. I don't get real technical when I hire people. I do something that might be even a little bit old school, but it works so well, and I don't think it's that smart. I think it took me many years to kind of figure this all out. I used to hire employees with lots of experience. I used to say, you're my worker, I pay you. I used to make all those mistakes. You guys don't have to. I'm telling you, you don't have to. So let me run you through a scenario. One of the last employees we hired, it was interesting. I had a gal that worked here who I loved to death. She was fantastic. And she came to me one day and she put in her notice. Now, she put in her notice because somebody in her family had owned a company in Chicago, and she just came across a phenomenal situation with her and her family member. And I always tell my employees, if something better comes up for you and your family, you should go do it. If it's a great opportunity and it's going to better your life, look, everyone, a lot of our ex-employees, they love us. I mean, we're friends with them on Facebook and other medias, and we still talk to each other, most of them, because we keep a good rapport with our people, and if they can grow, we want them to grow. Anyways, as she was leaving, I kind of teased her. I said, hey, I got one last task for you in your 2-week notice. And she said, what's that? I said, I want you to help me hire your replacement. She kind of laughed a little bit. Great person she was. She said, that's great. So we put our ads out. We had all these people applying. I'm going to kind of rush through this a little bit. And I'm a people person. I look at the person. I didn't just look at experience, but I was looking at the person. Who, of all the people I'm interviewing, who is going to fit in with our culture, our core values, and have the right attitude to work with our culture, our team? Are they going to fit under that umbrella? If they're not going to fit under the umbrella, we're all wasting our time. They are and we are. So we narrowed it down to 3 or 4 people. And I remember thinking to myself, I like all 3 or 4 of them. They're all probably pretty good people. The gal that worked for me came to me and she said, hey, have you checked any of their social media? Have you looked at their social media? Because that can really tell you a lot about a person. And I said, geez, you know, kind of old school. I haven't done it that way before. I just had not. And I went on there, and to my shock and surprise, 3 of the girls that I thought seemed really great were, in my opinion, would definitely not fit in our culture, would definitely not fit within our core values, that's for sure, okay? And attitude, I thought their attitude was pretty good when they came in for their interview. They might be great people, I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you this, the person we ended up hiring, when we got to her social media, it was really clean. It was clean, it looked honest, it looked pretty good. Now, some of you might say, yeah, but that's just social media, but here's what got it. The gal that worked for us came to me and said, hey, did you go through the person's pictures? I said, I didn't. She said, you really should. And I went through the pictures and I saw that person doing a Habitat for Humanity build at a build site. And I smiled, and the girl who was leaving smiled too, and she said, I knew that was the one. We knew right then, right that minute, that person was the one we're gonna hire. We knew that person would probably fit into our culture, probably would fit in with our core values quite well. The attitude, of course, we don't know yet, but I will tell you it's worked out quite well. So these are the 3 things that we need to hire somebody. Whether you're using social media as a tool to hire somebody, you know, it's funny, the gal that was leaving said to me, maybe this girl just cleaned up her social media. I said, you know what? If she's that smart to do that, that's the kind of person who fits into our culture. We want smart people. If that's what that one gal did and the other 3 didn't, good for her, because that fits into the kind of people we want surrounded by us. Smart, aggressive, forward-thinking people. That's what makes NuTech the company that it is. So leadership in this umbrella comes from the top. So as owners, if you're an owner and you're watching this video, I am telling you right now, you can have core values in writing. You can talk about culture all you want. You can even have a good attitude. But if you do not have that umbrella and actually breathe it, live it, talk it, mean it, hiring those employees will always be a one-way street. It'll never be a two-way street. You'll never get them. Now, all employees will come and go eventually. That's life, okay? But if you want your investment, most of us assume when you buy a business or you take a business, you invest. Whatever it is you do, you invest. And return on investment is something, ROI I call it, in a lot of the forums, I just use the code ROI, is something that whether you're buying a piece of equipment, whether it's an employee, whether it's the building you lease, there should be a return on everything that you do. If you're not gonna hire the right kind of people with the right attitude, core values, and culture, what are you really investing in? I mean, it's kind of like the investment broker that makes no money. I mean, is that really the broker you wanna invest in? That's where your company's going. You are the investment broker for your own company. Are you gonna invest in the kind of people that take you and your team, and by the way, this is all addictive. It's all catchy, it catches on to other employees, and even when you, the owner, or you, the project manager, are not there, the culture of that, when I go on vacation, I don't worry. I don't worry about a thing, because I know the value and the culture of the people that work here are fantastic, and they're gonna do the right things whether I'm there or not. So, but I live and breathe it. I don't just talk about it. So as you hire these new employees, there's nothing wrong with hiring an employee that has experience, but they definitely need to have your company's culture, your core values, your company's core values, and the right attitude to be successful. From there, you have a chance of having a fantastic investment in that employee, and that employee has an awesome chance of having an investment in your company to grow themselves, to better themselves. So whether they're there for a year or 5 years or 10 years, it doesn't matter. The investment is good for them, it's good for you. That's what in business we call winners. That's how we win. By picking winners, developing winners, and staying friends with winners even long after they're gone. So with that being said, I'm going to end this saying, if you want to talk more about hiring employees and some of the problems you've had and this kinds of things, call me. My number is 800-435-5868. I get calls from all over the country. I'm always happy to field those calls. I think that I can give a lot of advice to those of you who are new, and even some of you that maybe have been around a long time and just have never had luck with this subject. I might be able to give you one or two little pointers that maybe change the whole game for you. So I would encourage you to, one, watch all the videos. Start at 1 and work your way through the process as you get through number 8. Next, I would encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube page, because not only in this series, but also on equipment and other things, there's a ton of information and knowledge there. It's free. You can take it, you can use it for training your employees, showing your employees new equipment that you're looking at getting, whatever the case is, you can use that as a tool. And the third thing is, please, keep my number, 800-435-5868. I've spent 25 years helping people be successful, and I'd like you to be one of them too. Thanks for watching.